it's my birthday week. It's been 2 weeks since I've read a book. Pretty sure it's almost 2 weeks. Almost 2 weeks. Because I have not read a book since I got back from visiting my friend Kat. Felt very, very tired and not very well. But this week, I'm feeling lively. So, like, actual books I've been reading. I have started Ballad of Sword and Wine. I'm on page... Okay, where'd it go? 112. It is taking me a bit longer than I thought it would because I have to kind of get used to it, if that makes sense. Like, there's a lot of different things that I'm learning, a lot of people to keep track of, a lot of names, a lot of political intrigue, and things I'm not too familiar with, and this is my first ever danmei. So it is taking me a bit longer, but regardless of that, I'm really enjoying it. It has that build up that's just a lot of fun. So this is a lot of fun. A buddy read with my friend Kat of Murder Your Employer, The McMaster's Guide to Homicide by Rupert Holmes. This is supposed to be like really good and funny. Reading it pretty slowly over the course of like a week. So I'm on page 55 and we'll be reading 55 more pages tonight. So there's that. It's pretty good. It's okay. It's funny. It's like very tongue-in-cheek kind of thing. Can't tell you if it's going to be great or not. We'll have to see how that goes. Then my dad actually picked my TBR book because we did play the TBR board game. But my dad picked my TBR book and he picked Lady Macbeth by Ava Reid. I'm really hoping I like this because I've heard really divisive things about it. I've heard very, very mixed reviews, more leaning towards negative. But I do want to kind of form my own opinion. I want to form my own opinion and give it an honest shot. This is about how Lady Macbeth becomes Lady Macbeth, like the before and the during. And she's like a witch, which is interesting. Obviously the cover is absolutely stunning. It's very pink and it is pink under the jacket as well. So yeah, there's mixed reviews. I've read a lot of mixed reviews about Ava Reid's books in general. So I'm a little worried, but again, we'll form our own opinions and we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But so far, that's all I've got. Not finished anything, just lots of in the middle of things. My hair's wet, don't make fun of me. But we're going to try to finish one of these library books before their due date. And we're going to start with How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix because I want like a scary book, horror book, and I'm hoping that this is good. And I do want to try to read all 3 books before I give them back to the library. I came because I realized I don't think I told you what the 2 books that I'm reading are about. So I want to start with Murder Your Employer. This one's a bit self-explanatory, but basically this follows an elusive, exclusive university called the McMaster's Institute, where you go to learn to commit the perfect murder, and your thesis is that murder. And should you fail to be enrolled or fail to complete your thesis, you are murdered. And this follows our main character, Mr. Iverson, who has failed to murder his employer and who has been recruited to McMaster's Institute to try again after being taught how to do the perfect murder. And it's supposed to be like funny, humorous kind of read. So far it is falling a little flat. I have gotten further into the book. I'm on page 162 and it's a bit lacking in the humor department. Like, I can see the idea behind it, but I feel like the execution is not quite there. But we'll see. You know, I've still got a good way to go, and I do have to read some tonight, so I guess we'll see how that goes. And then earlier I also alluded to starting Grady Hendrix, How to Sell a Haunted House. I did start it and I got up to page 110, and this follows a main character whose parents have passed away, and so now, you know, her and her brother are left with their estate and the house, which is obviously haunted. Now I will say I'm really not enjoying this book. Maybe it's the slow uptake. Maybe it's the author heavily describing someone walking to their door. Maybe I'm just not in the mood for it. But it's just not interesting me right now. So I don't know if I'm going to give up on it or not, so we can go to the other 2 library books. But I guess we'll see. I do have till the 15th of August for this book and Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. So we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to DNF this just yet. Maybe I'll give it another chapter. I think this has to do with creepy dolls, which is... I hate. I have too many stuffed animals to be hearing about creepy dolls. I'm invoking a spoiler warning for How to Sell a Haunted House. And can I just say, haunted stuffed animal? Haunted, what is it? Hand puppet? I'm not enjoying this. I don't know. This is stupid. I want to talk to you guys about this book. Do you see that? Pumpkin, no. So anyway, I'm DNFing the book. I'm DNFing the, hold on, let me shed my sock puppet. We're DNFing this book because haunted sock puppet, that's the big scary, is the haunted possessed sock puppet. I got 250 pages in for a haunted evil sock puppet. This is going back to the library. Haunted sock puppet. I have a reading update. This one I'm gonna kind of pick up a little bit where we started last time with How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix, because I was goofing around last time and being attacked by a fake sock puppet. But still spoiler warnings for this. I did have to DNF it. It's campy, and I get it. It's like kind of like funny horror. Maybe it's because I collect stuffed animals and I'm no stranger to them watching you from their place in the house. Or maybe it's the fact that it was specifically a sock puppet that I just could not get behind. I don't know. The sock puppet aspect was a bit too silly for me. I couldn't get into it. I really wanted to be frightened. I wanted to be spooked, perhaps even a bit creeped out. Because mind you, I like the Jonathan Stroud, like Lockwood & Co. books, and those are for children. Because I find them spooky and interesting. I did not find this spooky nor interesting. So I did have to DNF it, and I will be taking this back to the library. And I finally finished my buddy read with Kat of Murder Your Employer by Rupert Grint. And this was a 3-star, like a solid 3-star read. And what I mean by solid is that it's very much like it's an okay kind of book. Like it was okay. That's literally it. There's a lot lacking in this book. I think I'm also gonna invoke spoiler warnings for this book. So you do follow tentatively almost 3 separate point of views. You have 3 students who are going to delete someone from this earth, and you're mainly focusing on Cliff. So I don't know why the author was really gung-ho about having like 3 point of views, but only sometimes. What I mean by that, we also have Gemma and Doris. What's her name? Doria. So Doria, Gemma, and Cliff. Cliff is like 90% of the book, and then the other 10% is split between Doria and Gemma. And I think it's a big detriment to the book. Like, focus on one, or actually flesh out the other 2 side characters that you want to switch point of views in. So like, we don't actually see that much of Doria or Gemma. So having like the split point of views was kind of unnecessary. Or you could have just done it through this like 3rd person omniscient thing that he does occasionally. And then there's a big point where you're just like, I kind of don't care, because they're kind of going through the day-to-day of the McMaster's education, which again, it's supposed to be funny, it's supposed to be tongue-in-cheek. I did not find it really that funny. I found it a bit amusing, but not amusing like ha ha ha, like amusing like that was a little funny, like, you know, like it's not eliciting that emotion that I think it's trying to. So it felt really flat, and I was really invested in the end of Cliff, like if he was gonna successfully murder his employer. But like other than that, I don't care. And I found the ending to be really like meh, especially when if you fail at McMaster's, you get axed too. And no, everyone just ends up back on campus. Except for Doria, but like she might come back, who knows? I don't know. It's just very like a meh middle ground read, which I'm kind of disappointed about because I was really hoping this would be like really fun. It looks really good, but yeah, very meh kind of read. So I guess that puts us in a middle spot of continuing. It's in the middle spot of finishing Ballad, obviously. Slow to the roll, but we're going. And then obviously starting Lady Macbeth, because I do want to start and finish because I'm excited, a little scared. I'll check back in though. It's time to return some library books. I'm very excited to get How to Sell a Haunted House out of my house because it was stupid. I did not get to these two books, unfortunately, but I can always go pick them up at the library again. I've had them for like, I think a month. I've renewed them. They're not late, by the way. But I'm going to let someone else have them. So we're going to go pick 3 more books today. We're back from the library. I forgot to update you guys yesterday. Don't mind the mess. But I picked up Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. I don't know too much. I do know that this follows a older woman who works at an aquarium who has suffered some like tragedies in her life, and somehow this octopus is going to help her solve a mystery. And this book is dual perspective, so you get her perspective and the octopus. I did start it on the train. I have no concrete thoughts yet because I'm only like 20 pages in, but very interesting premise. I saw it at Barnes & Noble and I was like, I want to try to read that. So we have that, and then I have The Teller of Small Fortunes by Julie Leong. This is kind of like a cozy-ish book. I'm not really too sure. Yeah, this is a cozy fantasy debut. So I thought it looked really beautiful as well. So I like cozy fantasy, I think. I've never tried one. And it's pretty short, so I checked that out. And then finally, more fantasy. We have Legendborn by Tracy Dion. I've heard absolutely fantastic, amazing things about this series, and I think it's finished. So now I can read the whole series. I've heard nothing but amazing things about this. Like, I don't know too much about it. I just know that it's fantasy and there's magic. These are my 3 library books. I'm very excited, but I do need to finish reading Lady Macbeth, which I should probably give you a reading update on. Sorry. Okay, I'll give you the reading update on Lady Macbeth. I'm about almost halfway through. I'm on page 108. And the problem is I don't love it, but I also don't hate it. I'm very indifferent right now towards the story, which is not what I was hoping for. I had very high hopes because I love Shakespeare books. I really do. I have a lot of love for Shakespeare, so I was really excited for a Lady Macbeth like prequel retelling thing, but I'm just very, very indifferent towards this book. But I am determined to finish it. I just don't know how long that's going to take me. We are kind of gearing up towards the major part like we were in Shakespeare, so we're very close to the action, the high point, so to speak. And I don't know, we'll see. I'm really hoping I can make a dent in this today. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want to move on with my life. I'm kind of like, okay, this is fine. I don't really care too much. So, but I do want to finish it. Maybe my feelings will change as it continues. So far, it's just very much like Lady Macbeth getting her footing in her new home as she becomes Lady Macbeth, and her being shocked and appalled by like everything in her new culture, in her new home. So, yeah. We'll check back in later. Alas, I'm here with the most disappointing reading update. I did finish Lady Macbeth by Reid, and I come bearing the bad news that this book was incredibly disappointing for so many reasons. And I think it was disappointing from the get-go. Like, the moment I started reading this book, I knew that it wasn't going to end well, if that makes sense. Like, I kind of knew from a couple chapters in that I wasn't going to enjoy it, but I still held out this false hope that it was going to get better. It did not. The problem is that this book is portrayed as a Lady Macbeth retelling. Now, if you don't know a lot about Shakespeare, Lady Macbeth is an ambitious, middle-aged, 30-plus-year-old woman who is cunning and conniving and of her own ability. The Lady Macbeth that we meet in this novel is a 17-year-old girl who is, I can't say she is cunning. She's conniving, but everything is literally just her being a pawn to men. I'm so sorry. This is not the feminist retelling of Lady Macbeth. One, I think, honestly, Reid should have made Lady Macbeth an adult. I don't, like, you know, we're jumping a lot because Lady Macbeth in the book is like 30-something, 40-something years old. Whereas this is a 17-year-old girl with very limited knowledge of the world and a lot of naivety. So that's one. It feels almost like a character assassination of Lady Macbeth. Like, this is very out of character for the Lady Macbeth that we see in Shakespeare's play. Now, obviously, every woman starts somewhere, right? This middle-aged woman would have been a 17-year-old girl that was naive. And obviously, Shakespeare doesn't give you a lot of information about Lady Macbeth's past, but I feel like this is just not very believable. The crazy xenophobia in this book. You know, around book spaces, we like to talk about racism, xenophobia, things like that. And I don't see this talked about enough, but this book is really xenophobic towards, like, Scottish people. There is this incredibly disgusting tone where it's like Scots are disgusting and brutish and less than and back, like far back, like they're living in the Stone Age. They have poor weapons that rust and are made of base metals, and everyone else has gold and jewels, and Macbeth doesn't have any of those things because he's a giant brutish Scotsman. How disgusting and crass. That's the entire tone of this book, which is just really off-putting and really gross. Like, I don't know if, well, no, actually, I do kind of feel like I know xenophobia is alive and well in Europe, and, you know, European history is full of people fighting with each other. But I didn't expect for this book to just be rife with, like, weird, I hate Scottish people vibes. When, like, that does not add to the story in any way. It's not necessary. We could have had a Macbeth retelling without the weird xenophobia and the, like, since you're not doing it the Christian way, you're an idiot. It's not slay, not great. Don't like that. Right, so that's one thing. That's really bad. There's so much wrong with this book. Lady Macbeth is not doing anything really of her own volition. She thinks she is. She thinks she's making moves. But she's actually just being pawned around by men, and this book is just full of misogyny, and she's so small, and Macbeth is huge. And I'm sorry, Lady Macbeth apparently likes twinks. Okay, I'm gonna invoke a spoiler warning, so spoiler warning, okay? There's this weird insta-love thing where Lady Macbeth becomes infatuated with the Prince of Cumberland. Pretty sure that's who he is. Who is, by the way, part dragon. Yes, part dragon. You heard me correctly. I don't know why the dragon very randomly sprinkled in there. Just dragon. Okay? this guy's randomly part dragon, and he's gonna save the day because Lady Macbeth can't do it by herself. No, you know the prophecy where it's like, no man of woman born shall slay Macbeth, and like the whole point is that Macduff was born via like C-section. No, this time obviously Lady Macbeth is gonna kill Macbeth. Lady Macbeth suffers throughout this entire book. This is just Lady Macbeth suffering for like 200 and something pages. Like, the Lady Macbeth from Shakespeare is a cunning and ambitious woman, and this girl is a pawn with like no agency of her own whatsoever, and it's just really sad. It's just really like this whole book was incredibly lackluster. Like, Lady Macbeth is not being torn apart by her guilt. She's like, the Lady Macbeth in Shakespeare is a cunning woman who is torn apart by her own inner turmoil, right? That's not what's going on here. We just have random dragon man and extremely disgusting, bad taste in the mouth, xenophobia just running rampant. Babe is just treated as a possession by every man. Like, her twink dragon boyfriend is not the exception to this, by the way. Like, this is supposed to be a feminist retelling, and literally it's just men are disgusting, debased creatures, especially if they're Scottish, and women are divine and witchy and born of primordial. That's the vibe that this gives. There's not there's so much wrong with it. You know, maybe I don't remember my Shakespeare too well, but I don't recall Lady Macbeth hating her husband so vehemently. I don't feel like you commit murder and help him become king so that you can be queen if you hate his guts. Not the way Lady Macbeth is like in Shakespeare. Like, she's a very cunning, like, that's why she's such an iconic character, and like this, they're not the same person. It was like a really long-winded rant. I've just never, I don't know, I've been, in making these videos, I've been able to have an outlet to engage more deeply with the books. Like, before I would kind of just talk to my mom or my dad or my boyfriend about my thoughts, and I really didn't share them with too many people. And in recording now, I kind of have more time to show them, and so I do kind of read it a little deeper, and I like take notes so that I can remember, because I want to share with you guys, because it's fun. I really have a lot of fun sharing my thoughts on here. Like, I'm really having such a fun time like putting together the videos and sharing my thoughts and picking my next read. Just for fun. If people like the videos, that's great. And it makes me realize, like, some of these books are weird and have some weird stuff going on. Like, I really didn't think I'd have to come on here and talk about like the xenophobia towards Scotsmen and women and people. And like, everyone is ugly except Lady Macbeth. Her description of other women is very off-putting. She's like, I am dainty, ethereal, and albino, and I'm wispy, and my skin is translucent. And the other women are broad and peasantly, and or old and decrepit and disgusting. Like, I don't know. Anyway. That fell off the bed. Anyway, we are gonna play the book board game again. Because we're either gonna play the book board game, we're gonna play the book board game, but I'm still also gonna read my library books, because surely there has to be something better than what I just read, because I'm actually angry. I don't know why I'm angry necessarily, but I do feel a bit annoyed having read this and having had to experience this book. I don't know why. It's really like aggravating. Maybe it's my deep love of Shakespeare. Maybe it was my high hopes for this book. I don't know. Either way. Oh, by the way, the book is fine. We're moving on. I played the book board game and I picked A Cozy Mystery. So we're going to read Death Post Society by Diane Kelly. But I do think I want to continue with Remarkably Bright Creatures first. Then we'll get to this. Then we'll do Legendborn. I really want to read Legendborn because all the books are out. So yeah, we're gonna do that. This is probably gonna go on the unhaul pile if I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm a little disappointed. I'm also a little scared because I have a couple other Ava Reid books on my bookshelf, and I'm scared that they're all gonna have something weird. I don't know. I did see someone say that A Study in Drowning has the same weird xenophobic tendencies, so I'm not too sure now. we'll check back in later, I guess, and see how things are going.